Imagine a plague sweeping across Europe not with fever and chills but with uncontrollable dancing. This was the bizarre reality of the Dancing Mania, a social phenomenon that gripped the continent from the 14th to the 17th centuries. People, often in large groups, would find themselves seized by an irresistible urge to dance. They would gyrate for days, weeks, even months until they collapsed from exhaustion or in some cases died from heart attack or stroke. The Dancing Mania was a terrifying epidemic that baffled medieval physicians and chroniclers. It left an indelible mark on the social and cultural fabric of the time. We know of outbreaks in numerous European cities from Aachen to Strasbourg. Each event adds another layer to the enigma of the dancing plague. Join me as we delve into the heart of this historical enigma, exploring its possible causes and its lasting impact on our understanding of the medieval world. Before we can fully grasp the terror of the Dancing Mania, we must first consider the backdrop against which it unfolded. The 14th century had already borne witness to one of the deadliest pandemics in human history, the Black Death. This devastating plague, caused by the bubonic plague bacterium, wiped out an estimated 30 to 60% of Europe's population. The Black Death left an indelible scar on the European psyche. It instilled a pervasive fear of disease and death, a fear that permeated all aspects of life. Religious fervor intensified as people desperately sought solace and explanations for the seemingly random and merciless hand of fate. The world had been plunged into chaos, and the social order was irrevocably shaken. Some historians believe that the trauma of the Black Death created a fertile ground for mass psychogenic illnesses, where anxieties and fears manifested in physical symptoms. Others argue that the social and economic upheaval caused by the plague contributed to the conditions that made such outbreaks possible. Understanding the impact of the Black Death is crucial to unraveling the mysteries of the Dancing Plague. One of the earliest and most well-documented outbreaks of the Dancing Mania occurred in Aachen, Germany, in 1374. What began as a small group of dancers in the town square quickly escalated into a citywide epidemic. Hundreds of people, seemingly possessed by an unseen force, danced uncontrollably in the streets. Eyewitness accounts describe scenes of both chaos and eerie spectacle. Men and women, young and old, danced with wild abandon, their faces contorted in expressions of ecstasy and agony. Some stripped off their clothes, while others cried out for mercy or saw visions of saints and demons. The city's authorities were overwhelmed. Physicians were baffled, unable to find any physical cause for the strange behavior. Priests conducted exorcisms, believing the dancers to be possessed by demons, but to no avail. The Aachen outbreak lasted for several weeks before gradually subsiding. Many dancers collapsed from exhaustion, suffering from dehydration, broken bones, and other injuries. Perhaps the most famous outbreak of the Dancing Mania occurred in Strasbourg, France, in 1518. It began in July, when a woman named Frau Trophea suddenly took to the streets and began dancing uncontrollably. Within days, she was joined by dozens, then hundreds of others, all compelled by the same inexplicable urge. The Strasbourg outbreak was remarkable for its duration and intensity. For weeks on end, the city was consumed by dance. People danced themselves to exhaustion, collapsing in the streets only to rise again and continue their frenzied movements. The authorities, desperate to stop the plague, hired musicians to play bagpipes and drums, believing that this would help the dancers to dance out their affliction. However, this only seemed to exacerbate the situation. The Strasbourg dancing plague became a symbol of the chaos and fear that gripped Europe during this time. The Dancing Mania presents a compelling medical and historical mystery. What could have caused such bizarre and destructive behavior in so many people across different times and places? Over the centuries, scholars have proposed numerous theories, ranging from the supernatural to the scientific. Some early theories attributed the Dancing Mania to demonic possession or divine punishment. In a world steeped in religious belief, it was not uncommon for people to attribute unexplained phenomena to supernatural forces. However, these explanations fail to account for the specific symptoms of the Dancing Mania, or the fact that outbreaks often occurred in clusters. Other theories have focused on possible medical explanations. Some scholars have suggested that the Dancing Mania may have been caused by encephalitis, a viral infection that can cause inflammation of the brain. Others have pointed to ergot poisoning, a fungal infection that can produce hallucinations and convulsions. One of the most intriguing theories about the cause of the dancing mania is ergot poisoning. Ergot is a fungus that grows on rye and other grains, and its consumption can lead to a condition known as ergotism. Ergotism can manifest in a variety of ways depending on the strain of the fungus and the amount consumed. One form of ergotism, known as convulsive ergotism, can produce symptoms remarkably similar to those described in accounts of the dancing mania. These symptoms include hallucinations, convulsions, and uncontrollable muscle spasms. The fungus contains chemicals that affect the nervous system, potentially leading to the bizarre and involuntary movements seen in the dancing plague. Rye was a staple crop in medieval Europe, and outbreaks of ergotism were not uncommon. Furthermore, some historical accounts of the dancing mania mention that those affected often ate bread made from contaminated rye. However, there are also problems with this theory. Another prominent theory attributes the dancing mania to mass hysteria, a phenomenon in which a group of people exhibit similar physical or psychological symptoms, often in response to stress or anxiety. This theory suggests that the dancing mania was a form of social contagion, spread through sight and sound, particularly in communities already primed for such outbreaks by existing social tensions or anxieties. Proponents of the mass hysteria theory point to the highly contagious nature of the dancing mania. Outbreaks often began with a single individual and then spread rapidly through a community, suggesting that social factors played a significant role. Furthermore, the symptoms of the dancing mania, such as uncontrollable dancing and trance-like states, are consistent with known symptoms of mass psychogenic illness. The social context of medieval Europe lends further credence to this theory. The period was marked by widespread poverty, disease, and social unrest. Religious fervor and superstition were rampant, and people were often quick to believe in supernatural explanations for unexplained phenomena. In such an environment, it is plausible that a combination of social and psychological factors could have contributed to the emergence of the dancing mania. The dancing mania, regardless of its ultimate cause, offers a fascinating window into the social, cultural, and religious landscape of medieval Europe. It highlights the precariousness of life in a time when disease was rampant, religious beliefs held sway, and social structures were in flux. The outbreaks reveal the anxieties and tensions that simmered beneath the surface of everyday life. The reactions of the authorities to the dancing mania are particularly telling. Their attempts to control the outbreaks, ranging from hiring musicians to performing exorcisms, reflect the prevailing beliefs and practices of the time. The failure of these measures to stop the spread of the dancing mania underscores the limitations of medieval medicine and the sense of helplessness that people felt in the face of such a bizarre and terrifying phenomenon. Moreover, the dancing mania sheds light on the role of dance in medieval society. Despite centuries of speculation and research, the dancing mania remains an enigma. No single theory has been able to fully explain its causes, its peculiar symptoms, or its sudden disappearances. Some researchers believe that the dancing mania may have been the result of a perfect storm of factors, a confluence of social, psychological, and biological triggers that combine to create the conditions necessary for these outbreaks to occur. Others suggest that the dancing mania may represent a phenomenon that we still do not fully understand, a testament to the complexities of the human mind and its interaction with the environment. Whatever the explanation, the dancing mania serves as a reminder that history is not a static collection of facts but rather a dynamic and evolving field of inquiry. The dancing mania, a seemingly distant phenomenon from the annals of history, prompts an unsettling question. Could it happen again? While the specific circumstances that led to the outbreaks in medieval Europe may no longer exist, the underlying human capacity for mass psychogenic illness remains. In our modern world, characterized by globalization, rapid information flow, and heightened anxieties, the potential for social contagion is arguably greater than ever before. We have witnessed outbreaks of mass psychogenic illness in recent times, often triggered by stress, fear, or perceived threats. While these outbreaks may manifest differently than the dancing mania, they demonstrate that the human mind remains vulnerable to collective delusions and psychosomatic symptoms. Furthermore, the factors that some scholars believe contributed to the dancing mania, such as social inequality, environmental stressors, and the spread of misinformation, are still present in our world today. The dancing mania, while a perplexing and often disturbing phenomenon, offers valuable insights into the human condition. It reminds us of the power of social influence, the fragility of the human psyche, and the importance of critical thinking in the face of unexplained events. By studying the past, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the forces that shape our world. The dancing mania also underscores the importance of interdisciplinary approaches to historical research. Unraveling the mysteries of this phenomenon requires drawing on insights from history, medicine, psychology, sociology, and other fields. By breaking down disciplinary silos, we can gain a more nuanced and comprehensive understanding of complex historical events. Ultimately, the dancing mania serves as a cautionary tale. By studying the past, we can learn from the mistakes of those who came before us and work to create a more resilient and informed society.